Sometimes kindness shows up in the most unexpected places. Not as a grand gesture, not with applause or cameras, but quietly, in a moment where someone chooses compassion over judgment. This story begins with a man who was struggling, a bad decision, and a plan that was supposed to hurt someone else. What happened instead would change his heart forever. Before we dive in, if you enjoy emotional, real lifestyle stories that remind us of the power of kindness, make sure to subscribe, like this video, and share your thoughts in the comments. Your support helps our community grow here on your channel name. Now let me tell you this story. Ethan Miller was a single dad living just outside Columbus, Ohio. He was 37 years old, exhausted, and doing his best to hold life together for his 8-year-old son, Noah. Ever since Ethan's wife passed away 3 years earlier, life felt like one long uphill climb. Bills never stopped, grief never really left, and the guilt of not always being enough followed him everywhere. Ethan worked 2 jobs. During the day, he fixed appliances. At night, he drove for a delivery app. Even with all that, he was behind on rent. One cold Thursday evening, as he sat in his car staring at his phone, a message came in that made his stomach tighten. It was from an old acquaintance named Mark, a guy Ethan barely trusted. Mark didn't waste time. "I've got an easy way for you to make $500 tonight," the message read. "All you have to do is show up for a blind date and make sure it goes badly." Ethan frowned. He typed back, "What do you mean, ruin it?" A few seconds later, Mark replied, "The woman is a little person. She's been getting attention online, and someone wants to teach her a lesson. Just be rude, make her uncomfortable, leave early. That's it." Ethan's heart sank. He knew it was wrong. Every part of him knew that hurting someone for money was crossing a line. But then he looked at the picture on his dashboard. Noah, smiling with missing front teeth. Rent was due in 3 days. His bank account showed $43. After a long silence, Ethan typed, "Where and when?" The date was set at a small Italian restaurant downtown. Warm lights, brick walls. The kind of place meant for romance. As Ethan walked in, guilt weighed heavy on his chest. He kept telling himself it was just an act, just one bad night. He'd apologize later in his head somehow. Then he saw her. She was already seated at a corner table, wearing a soft blue dress and a gentle smile. Her hair was neatly styled, and she was laughing quietly at something on her phone. She was a woman with dwarfism, yes, but that wasn't the first thing Ethan noticed. What struck him was how calm and confident she looked, like she belonged anywhere she chose to be. Her name was Lily. When she saw Ethan approaching, she stood up and smiled even wider. "You must be Ethan," she said warmly. "I'm Lily. I'm really glad you came." Something twisted in his chest. They sat down, and for the first few minutes Ethan followed the plan. He answered her questions with short replies. He checked his phone. He avoided eye contact. He made a few careless remarks about traffic and how busy he was. But Lily didn't react the way Mark said she would. She didn't shrink. She didn't get angry. She didn't look embarrassed. Instead, she smiled gently and said, "It seems like you've had a long day. Want to talk about it?" Ethan looked up, caught off guard. "What?" She shrugged softly. "I've been on enough bad dates to recognize when someone's somewhere else." Her honesty hit him harder than any accusation could have. Trying to stay cold, Ethan said, "Look, I don't think this is going to work." Lily nodded. "That's okay. Not everything has to." Then she did something that made his throat tighten. She reached into her purse and placed a small folded note on the table. "Before you go," she said, "I just want you to know something." Ethan hesitated, then opened it. Inside was a handwritten message. "Whatever you're carrying, I hope it gets lighter. You matter more than you think." His eyes burned. Ethan stood up abruptly. "I'm sorry," he muttered, and walked out before she could see his face break. He sat in his car shaking. The $500 suddenly felt like poison. He couldn't do it. He couldn't be the kind of man who crushed someone that kind, especially when she had shown him nothing but grace. Ethan texted Mark, "I'm not doing it. Don't contact me again." There was no reply. That night, Ethan barely slept. Lily's words echoed in his head. "You matter more than you think." No one had said that to him in years. The next morning, against his fear, Ethan did something brave. He sent Lily a message through the dating app. "I owe you the truth," he wrote. "I was paid to ruin our date. I didn't go through with it. You didn't deserve any of that. I am deeply sorry." Hours passed with no response. Ethan accepted whatever judgment came his way. Then his phone buzzed. "Thank you for being honest," Lily replied. "I figured something was off. But I also believe people are more than their worst moments. If you'd like to start over someday, without lies, I'd be open to that." Ethan stared at the screen in disbelief. They met again a week later, this time for coffee. No money, no schemes, just two people being real. Lily told him about her life, the stares she endured, the cruel jokes, and how she chose kindness anyway. "I don't do it because people deserve it," she said softly. "I do it because I deserve peace." Those words changed him. Months passed. Ethan got back on his feet. He found a better job. Lily became part of their lives. She helped Noah with homework, attended his school plays, and never once tried to replace his mother, only to add love where she could. One evening, as they watched Noah sleep, Ethan said quietly, "You saved me." Lily shook her head. "No, you chose to be better. I just reminded you who you already were." That is the power of kindness. It doesn't just change moments, it changes people. Sometimes the smallest act of grace can pull someone back from the edge. Sometimes a gentle response can undo a cruel plan. And sometimes kindness doesn't just heal the person receiving it, it heals the one who almost forgot how to give it. As you go about your day, remember this story. You never know what silent battle someone is fighting. Your kindness might be the reason they choose hope, and that choice can change everything.